So I think the question of the relative costs between the Design and As-Built V1 and the legacy rating tools is obviously a little bit of a complicated one. We've found situations where actually projects can be cheaper under the new Design and As-Built tool, but it really depends on the circumstances and perhaps what the client specifies. So if a client specifies that they want a particular technology which benefits the newer tool, then obviously that will be rewarded. So really it's a case-by-case example, but one thing is for sure is that as far as compiling the documentation and so on, the Design and As-Built V1 seems to be substantially cheaper, which also provides the benefit of being able to spend some of that money on actually improving the performance of the building.
So I've had the opportunity to cost, as in physical construction costing, and we were testing 6-star Green Star, old tool versus new tool. What we discovered, it was cost neutral, and this was predicated by key things such as how we addressed green power versus trigeneration, where the opportunities were in the context of those type of solutions, innovation, and other areas, and as a result, it's been very successful. And there was a clear story, costed and agreed by both by the contractor, that a 6-star was achievable at the same cost in the new tool as the old tool.
We don't see any fundamental difference between the design and as-built process and the previous design and separate as-built process in terms of cost. There are efficiencies, certainly, but some of those efficiencies, which might indicate a cheaper process, are offset by some of the slightly more expensive means of gaining some of the criteria. Life cycle analysis is a case in point. So I think it's a net nil cost position, assuming that we're comparing the design and as-built tool with both a design and as-built rating under the legacy tools.
So at Frasers Property Australia, we found there's some cost savings associated with the new Green Star Design and As-Built rating tool when compared to the legacy tools. And that's largely around the compilation of the Green Star submission and the documentation process associated with it. And also the refining of some of the credits and simplification of the structures within the tool. What we're seeing at the moment is that benefit, particularly in a design review process and the certification stage, is quite significant. I think we're seeing savings of probably 30 or 40% in a design review rating when you compare it to the legacy rating tools which had the design rating.
The consultancy fees that we would apply for the new tool would be lower than the legacy tool. Particularly at design review stage, we can prepare the submission and the material faster, so we use less hours, so our costs are lower. And then from a certification point of view, the GBCA certification fees are significantly lower for a design and as-built rating using the new tool than two separate design and as-built certification fees using the legacy tools. So overall, the client should be seeing a lower cost.